Hey there, my name is Ashley Smith, and I am a top 20 elite Team Beachbody coach, and I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about apps. So we are primarily, we run our businesses on social media. So making yourself, have this really nice platform of which to share and have people come and see your page and let it look bright and vibrant and really brand yourself. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that, and you're going to learn about branding and all kinds of stuff in your new coach training. But what I really want to talk about today is apps and different things that you can do to really express yourself, but in a really tasteful and positive way. So one of the first things I want to do is just share with you some apps that I personally really like and that I use all the time. So first, let's start with videos. If you want to record yourself with your camera or your phone, I just turn my phone around and set it up somewhere and record whatever moves I'm doing. And then I save it. And what I do is I open it from my camera roll in one of three apps. So let me show you. App number one is called Viva Video. And it's a great app. You can plug in your little pieces of video. You can cut them, anything that you want to do. Then plug them all together, put music to it, and it's perfect. Some people love that app. A lot of other people like an app called Video Shop. And again, it's one word, and it's a great app you can download from the App Store. And it does essentially the same thing. You can cut it, trim it, splice it, all the different things you want to do to a video. And both of those are very, very user-friendly. Now, if you wanted to show like move by move, show a couple videos all in a frame together, kind of like a collage, then a really great way to do that is to use an app called Pick, Play, Post. And it's super simple. You just click on how many screens, how many squares you want it to show, and then you can plug in the different videos and you can make it 15 seconds long. It's perfect for Instagram and just a really great way to show quick video moves either sequentially or all at the same time. So those are the apps I love to use for doing some videos. Now let's move on to some pictures and such. So there's a couple different ways to do pictures, and I kind of sprinkle it all in together. For me, most of the time I just do a single picture with a really pretty filter on it so that it catches their eye, and sometimes I'll add words to it, and very, very few times I'll also throw in a little collage of pictures. So let me tell you about some of the things that I love. One, if you don't have Instagram, get it because it's awesome. It has the best filters on there, and I love it. And it's linked now to another app that you can click where you can make a collage within it. So that's really as easy as it gets, and you can just choose from your camera roll, put them together in a collage, and it takes you right back to Instagram so that you can post your pictures. So that's a really easy, foolproof way, and a lot of times I'll do that first, and then after I save that and upload it to Instagram, then I have it already in my camera roll and I use the same picture. It's got the really pretty filter on it and everything that I wanted before. And I go ahead and I post that on Facebook or my like page or wherever else I'm going for. So that's one really easy way to create a nice filter on a picture. Another way is something that you can use is called Photofy, Photo-F-Y. Or Moldiv, M-O-L-D-I-V. And those are two really great apps as well. You can put filters on there, you can add words to it, you can create a collage together. And so those are a couple different apps that you can use for collages and putting things together. Now, throughout the course of my 2 years as a coach, I have gone through so many different apps and I've downloaded all kinds of new ones. So I'm really telling you only the very few that I use. I really only use Viva Video. I really use Photofy and Instagram. And the last one that I use a lot of for the phone, these are all phone apps, is something called WordSwag. And WordSwag is awesome. So basically, like when you're scrolling Pinterest or Etsy and you see all these really cute graphics and they have, a cute graphic quote on there or a cute motivational quote with a background, or maybe it's a white background and it's just cool font. Whatever it may be, it's not your own though, right? So what makes this app really fun, it's called WordSwag, is that you get to make a quote or a really pretty graphic picture, but it's your own. So, and that's what you want. You want to brand yourself, right? So what you're going to do is what you do in WordSwag is you actually upload a picture. They have a whole bunch of stock photos there free to use when you have the app. So you can do one of those, or you can upload one from the camera roll. You can change the transparency so you can make the picture really light or really dark. But then the greatest part is there's so many different ways to add text to it, and all you have to do is just write in what you want to write. And then when you click all the different filters, it changes the text around it. It makes it so much fun. So what I'm going to do is show you a couple options about that. And then I'm going to move to one more section of apps that you can use on the computer. And those are really great ways. If you're going to make something a little bit more complex, maybe it's for a recognition post for a coach, or maybe you're welcoming new coaches, whatever you're going to do, something that's a little bit more complex and something that I use a lot for, for maybe a challenge group post or a free group event or a sneak peek into coaching. Those are what I would use more. And those are two on the computer that I'm going to show you in just a second. So let me show you what a couple from WordSwag would look like, okay? And that's probably my number one app that I use aside from just my Instagram filter, honestly, because it makes it look so professional. I can find a quote that I really loved off of Pinterest, but make it my own. And what's even more awesome is I can actually add my watermark to it, which lets me brand myself as Ashley Smith Fitness so that nobody can steal it. And if they do, then they get to see me. They get to see my brand on it, right? So, okay, let me show you a couple options. So here's one. Can you guys see that? So this is an option that you can do. It's kind of a little bit blurry, but I made the picture really, really light, and I added on the right, an option was to put in words, in black and white on the side. So this was like a little quick hit workout that I gave to somebody to do. Here's another option. After a team call one day, I put all my participants up there, and over it was the inspiration crew. I was able to put my logo in really, really easily on top of it. Let's see, what's one other one I want to show you? Here's one that's really cool. So my text, it easily put it into a black and white text. And down at the bottom, you see my logo, okay? Not my logo, my branding, my watermark, if you will. Okay, so that's a really great way to kind of just add, some text to it. This is another one about going to leadership retreat. You can see how I was able to put this a little bit thin over it. I could add it, add transparency over a bunch of pictures. So you can go one of each way, make the picture darker with lighter text over, or vice versa. Okay, so that is an example with photo or with WordSwag. Like, Photofy and Molded, they allow you to create collages like this, makes it nice and simple. But what I want to do now is I'm going to screen share with you, and I want to show you what it looks like to make a graphic in one of these two locations. So the first one, this is Canva, okay? And Canva is, this one is awesome. I really like it. Allows you to kind of line up your documents. So there's a line and it makes everything straight, which I really appreciate. And it's a really great way. You can see, so it has a library for myself, so I've kept things over the years, so many things, I was able to put really a ton of people into a picture, or I was able to do a side-by-side, a collage. Here I was able to, do an income progression where I really put the picture super light behind it. You can adjust the transparency. And then, you see just a bunch of stuff. There's really cute fonts. You can also upload your own fonts in here, which is awesome. So you can just kind of see some of the different things that I've been able to do with Canva, which has been so great. And you see earlier on in my coaching career, I had a lot of graphics that I did for my challenge groups that are up this way. So it kind of just depends, what I'm needing it for and what I would do it for. For these, this would take a lot of extra work. So doing it on a computer program is a little bit easier and less stressful for me than trying to do it on the phone, right? So let me scroll up and show you. So for example, let me just show you something simple, okay? This is what I do to announce new coaches. Okay, so in the background, I pulled this graphic over here. It allows me to upload any pictures that I want to upload. So I scroll, and I find my background that I want to use. So for example, this was one that was a bunch of anchors. Okay, so I put it back here, and what I did was once I click on the big image, I can choose to change my transparency. So you see that it was darker, or I can make it lighter. I wanted it super light so you can just barely see the hint of an anchor. Okay, and I go and I find my font. So over here I can add text. Okay, so I could add new text if I wanted to. If I don't want it, I just delete it. Okay, up here it allows me to change, the font and the size. I can change. This is something I really love about Canva is the text spacing. So maybe I wanted it spread more apart, or maybe I wanted it really tight together. I can do that with everything. And maybe I hate the way that it looks, so all I do is I click undo, and it goes back to where I want it, right? So it allows you to have, transparent background pictures on here. I can add anytime you're in the upload section. you can really easily upload a picture. So I just click on something, right? And I just move it wherever I want it to go. And you see how it's got the lines and it's spacing everything. If I wanted it smack dab in the middle, it tells me exactly where that would be. And again, I can arrange it so I can choose to go backwards or forwards or easily copy it. And again, every single image you can change the transparency of and make it lighter or darker. Okay, so that's this is in Canva, and this is a really great program. It's just www.canva.com. All right, and the great thing about it is that it really keeps all of your stuff in a library, so you can easily go back and forth to it. All right, this is Picmonkey. Picmonkey is picmonkey.com. And what's really great about this is, again, it's a very similar thing. Some find this a little bit trickier to use. I like both. One thing that I do like about this particular program is, again, they have just changed it to where now there's the hub. So in the hub, this is where I have all my stuff in here, some of my newer things that I've been working on. So you see, I've been able to upload, let's design something real quick. Okay, so say I want to make a square. All right, so I've got everything in here. To upload something, I'm going to go over to this little butterfly, and I would just say, add my own. So let's go, we're going to go here to my, all the things that I can add in here. So say I want to add a picture of, let's see if I can find anything good. Okay, here, how about this picture of me when I was pregnant? Okay, so we're going to add in this picture, okay? And one thing that's really awesome about this is when you're on an image, there is the option to have an eraser. So, if it's something like this that's kind of dark and maybe I want to fade it to the background and I'm going to be using, text over it, I can fade it really super light if I want. And I can also start using my eraser around it if I wanted to kind of, add it around. So you see the size of it, I can make it larger also, or really big, and the hardness can change as well. Brush hardness, if you want it super, super hard to where it's not going to have any kind of, fluff around it, and that's what you would do. But for this, you see that, so here we go. So if I just wanted it just kind of really light and airy around it, then I could just change it like that. So I chose to have a really small brush hardness because I just wanted to kind of, go around myself and make it look kind of light and airy. And now I'm going to be adding, adding some text around it and such. So I just wanted it to look really nice and just like I was barely there. Okay, so I can move this wherever I want it to go. Again, you can add text as well. So I'm over here in the text, and maybe I want to add, I'm going to add this blackjack text, okay? And I want to say, welcome, new coach. All right, so here we go. Got my text. I'm going to go ahead and move it up here. The only thing with Picmonkey is there is not the center option. It doesn't give you lines. You kind of just have to eye it yourself. So that does make it a little bit trickier. But again, you can still, there's definitely perks to this one over Canva. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for. So that's what I always tell my, my coaches is that use what you want because you can figure out kind of what you would like. Again, this one does not have the text break to kind of choose to make this closer together or anything. But what it does have that I like is these cool effects. So you can do a drop shadow, an inner shadow. Let's go ahead and choose some colors here. So if I wanted to add some shadow effects in here, you can see that I can choose to make some, I can angle some shadows cool. I can fade it. Can make the intensity. One thing that's really cool to do is actually to change your text color. So if I wanted the text color to be this, pretty bluish color, okay? Now I'm gonna go to my effects and my drop shadow. Maybe I want it to be in black so that it really shows up. And you can take away the fade. And there's all different kinds of things. You can see the inner shadow, the knockout, the drop shadow. And again, you can kind of see, how deep and how dark you want it to be. And it just kind of depends on what it looks like, depending on, on whatever kind of font that you use and stuff. It would look different if you had it on this, on this kind of font. So, you can do something like that, and you can change the sizing. So again, you can do so much with this, and you can add more. If I wanted to add another image, there's all kinds of options here as well. If I wanted to add maybe I wanted to add an arrow in here and, turn it around and say that, this is the new coach. And, make it bigger, and you can add one on there and change the color as well. There's so many kinds of symbols and things. A lot of times I'll use this rectangle up here and I'll kind of make it my own and maybe put text with it, and maybe I'll fade it a little bit and add some color to it. Maybe I'll add this bluish color and I'll really fade it, and then I can choose to have this go before it. Okay, and then if you ever want to change the location, so say for example this welcome new coach thing went behind my long diagonal here, I can just right click and say send to back or send backwards. You can change everything. Now, one cool option about picmonkey is that if you're on this graphic and you're positive that you love everything about it, so that you don't have to worry about continuing to accidentally click on other things that could move, if I love it, then I can go right here and say combine all elements. So when I do this, it's set to go and I can't ever change it. But what's nice about it is everything's clicked on here. So now I don't have to worry about, as I'm editing things, everything's not going to keep moving around. I can continue to go ahead now and start adding more options. Maybe I can add in that heart that I wanted to add in without having to worry about anything moving around. Obviously, my graphics look a lot better than this, but this is just showing you different options. So maybe I hate it and I want to delete it. So hopefully that helps a little bit. There are so many apps out there, and honestly, the one thing that I would recommend for you to do is choose 3. Choose one video app you love, choose one kind of filter editing app that you like, and then choose one app that really lets you have pretty words on your stuff to make it all about you and to make it your brand and make you brand yourself really tastefully, which for me is WordSwag. I love that app. Super easy and just a no-brainer. So hope this helps. Good luck, and find some apps that you really like that brand you well.